Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of a multi-part series where we're rebuilding a 1994 EZ GO TXT that was involved in a fire. It's going to be a bumpy ride, so you might want to buckle up. I'm Jeff. Welcome to Kart Crazy. Alright, so a quick little recap. If you didn't see part 1, this one had a little bit of a fire problem that we're working on. I've got all new parts for that. I do have to order some cables. I didn't get that done yet, but we're not even going to get close to being ready for those. I don't think. Well, maybe after today we will be. I've got some seized-in bolts to contend with here. I actually cut the heads of those off for our upper support struts for the roof. Obviously all of the melted components we got to get pulled out of here. I've got that new battery tray I'm going to drop in. Lots of pressure washing, cleaning, spray painting. I forgot to look at the bushings. Those actually might be okay. Well, I got to take a closer look at those. Lots of grease to blast off. Yeah, so a lot to do. So first thing I'm going to do, just back it outside, and if you're a fan of the channel, you know pressure washing. That's definitely my favorite part. It's very satisfying. So we're going to get it out. Probably going to pull these plastic pieces off yet. I didn't do that here and here. And then we'll start blasting away and see what we've got underneath all this dirt and grime and crud. I think before I run it out to pressure wash it, I'm going to get rid of all this old electrical burnt up mess. That'll just make it a little nicer when we do the pressure washing, to have that out of our way, and start with kind of a clean slate. Didn't want to bore you with the details of getting that burnt up mess out of there. Chances are you're probably not working on something like that. But let's just say it wasn't pleasant. I used to tow cars for a living years ago, and anytime you would go to a burnt up car, they were always just nasty and gross, and this one wasn't any better. I pretty much had to chisel the plastic out of there just to get at the bolts to get the old module out. You can see the debris left behind. Anyway, we're going to clean that up a little bit and work on getting this battery tray out. Some of these bolts, you know, that one, that Torx probably isn't too bad, but that one behind it, you know, half the bolt is missing, so this might present a little bit of a challenge. I don't have a torch set up here at the shop. That's probably next on the list. But if we can get that battery compartment out and get this mess cleaned up, then we'll be able to get it out and do the pressure washing, which is what I originally wanted to do. So we'll tackle this. Alright, so got that guy off. That's basically the seat support. Your switch runs through there. These guys are just not going to come out, and I'm not going to fool with it. I'm just going to slice them off with the old grinder, and once it's out, we'll be able to back them out, probably with a vice grips or something, similar to what we're doing with these. That way we can get that battery tray out, and like I said, kind of get on to today's project. This is not really what I was thinking about when I was thinking about today's project, but sometimes that's where the road takes you, and you just got to deal with everything accordingly. Got that old battery tray out, and I'll show you a little trick. You saw me cut the heads of those bolts off. While they're still hot, sometimes you can get lucky. Grab them with the vice grips. There's enough heat penetrated in there. Like I said, being I don't have a torch, there was enough heat in there from grinding it. I was able to get a vice grips on the head of that one and peel it out. Not so lucky on this one. Not a huge deal. We'll either get some heat into it once I get this floor pan out, or drill and tap it if we have to, or run a bolt with a nut on the back side. It's not the end of the world. Just wanted to show you that trick. We're going to pull these pans off. And I think finally, after that, we'll be ready to go outside. Just wanted to show you this quick to pull these tin pans out. It's about a dozen or more, probably, aluminum rivets. I've got all those pulled off, or drilled out I should say, so I can pull those panels off and keep rolling here. You do have to pop the steering wheel off to get that front plate off, just to warn you. Well, that's about 163% better. If you've watched the channel for more than 5 minutes, you know that I can't stand working on stuff that's dirty and nasty. So pressure washing is definitely one of my favorite steps. Got all the tin off and blew all the crud that I could out of there. We still have to get in there with a wire wheel and probably some sanding and clean all that up. I don't know that I talked about the controller for this. I was going to do a full Navitas setup on this guy, which, if you're familiar with Navitas, is a pretty awesome setup. They're about $2,000 to get everything converted over. Didn't know how far I wanted to go into this cart. It would be pretty awesome with that setup. However, I'm always on Marketplace, like you know, and I found this guy, which is a used All-Trax controller. Guy upgraded to a different setup. This isn't very old. It's an All-Trax with the forward and reverse switch, the solenoid, the bracketry, basically everything that was burnt up on this, minus the battery cables. So that's my plan. I'm going to clean this up. This will mount in here, and of course everything will mount the way it was, and we'll get it all wired up and see. I'll probably pull the lithium battery out of my personal cart and just throw it in there just to make sure it works, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do for batteries. But wanted to get this far with it at least today and make sure we got some good some bones to work with, which we kind of knew already, but you know, there's some issues to contend with. I'll probably have to pull it down farther, pull these springs off, you know, drop the axle out and really clean that stuff up if I want this thing to be pretty decent. So but for today, that's probably all the farther we're going to go. Got lots of ideas. This also has the old 3-bolt steering column, which, see that much play? And the wheels aren't moving. I'm still turning, and the wheels aren't moving. So we've definitely got some issues. I got to research that a little more. Some people convert these over to a 4-bolt column with the newer setup. I got to look and see what's all involved in that. It seems to me like it's in the rack and pinion, just wore out. You know, everything is just old and sloppy in there. I do see they offer new ones online for less than $200. So, a lot of information coming your way, I know, but this is probably going to be the end of part 2, and we'll see what we can get done next time. I'd like to drop that battery tray in, get the All-Trax in, and see if it actually moves and goes down the road. If it doesn't, you know, we're right back to square one, so there's no sense in going any further until we can get it operational. I did get a motor with that setup that I bought from that gentleman. However, it's the exact same motor that's in here, so I don't know that it pays to take that one out unless it's, you know, ends up being whiny or noisy or something. So there you have it, part 2 of the Meltdown rebuild, and thanks for coming along and putting up with me. We'll see you next time.